And we're live.
Yes, we are live. Welcome back, you inglorious bastards and magnificent bitches. It is I, Doc Camo,
And Ken Santos here.
and we're back for another test of the emergency podcast system.
It has begun!
And this one's going to be all over the place because there's a bunch of updates, a bunch of shit we've been talking about. So Elon Musk decided not to take that board seat we talked about.
Well, are we surprised?
I mean, at first, yes, but he had a good reason. The board offer limited his purchase of stock to 14.9%.
So then he's getting shafted on his ability.
They don't want anybody to get 15 or more percent because then they pretty much control the whole thing, and that's what. And then so he was like, fuck that. And they wanted him to as a board member, he has a fiduciary duty, which is a legal duty to the board and the company, and he can't talk shit about it or whatnot. So he wouldn't be able to do it. He wouldn't be able to be his meme-ish self on there. So he was just like. So he had he got.
But he must do it.
But he's the Musk, so he must do it, and he just fucking turned it down, and he offered. I think 41, 42, 43 billion, something like that, to buy it. He offered 54.20, and he only offered 54.20, so there would be 420 in the price, but he offered 54.20 per share to buy everything, and that was like $30 above market value. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if he really did 54.20 to have 420 in there. That's just an internet joke, but I think.
But if he did, good to you.
But it's like so.
Things we need, just these little, it helps us get through the day.
He made that offer to buy, and they turned it down.
Yeah, well, of course they did. Let's think about this. Give him the full ability and control to have overseeing power. Censorship down.
He was trolling.
Speech back.
He trolled them on the.
Things that would come into play that they would lose so much of their backing from their supporters.
Well, he trolled the board on. He was like, "When I'm in charge, the board salary $0," because the board members don't have to be paid in a company. But that's what he's just like spitting out things like that. The founder, we'll jump ahead for a bit because we're talking about the same thing, and these first few subjects blend together. But Jack Dorsey, the founder, and he's one of the board members. He's been talking shit about the board on Twitter. Like, he's been saying all kinds of mad fucking shit, and he was like. People were asking him, he's like, "Are you even supposed to be talking about this?" And his answer's like, "No." And he was like, because the business, Twitter's failing. Most people don't know that. It loses like $1 billion a year or something like that. I mean, it still has enough money that it could be saved or whatnot, which is what Musk's trying to do. But it's failing. And he basically said all of the problems with the company is the board. That's what Jack Dorsey said.
It is, honestly, as it seems, the leading key factor to the destruction.
Well, Dorsey's leaving, so I think he doesn't give a shit anymore, and
it's one of those things you can't we were having this conversation, a separate conversation, but the same point's relevant. You cannot run a business with emotions. This is something that can't be done with that. It doesn't work. You can't do it. You're never gonna get to the point you want to get.
The board members are a bunch of PhDs, MBA. There's a baroness.
Yeah. Exactly. There's something wrong here.
And aside from Jack Dorsey, that owns like 24.6%, which is the largest percentage. I mean, he created it. He should own the largest percentage, but unless Elon Musk buys the whole thing. But anyway, they all have like less than one share. Yeah. And it's like, why are somebody with less than one share making fucking controlling decisions that are contrary to making people money? Because even the fucking company you hired to help fight Musk's attempted hostile takeover of $30 fucking above market value is the one that valued your company at $30 below fucking Musk's fucking So it's like you're intentionally denying the board, the shareholders, their money. That is more than a fair offer.
Exactly.
Now you could have just said yes and made the shareholders a bunch of money, and even if they were mad, they would made a bunch of money, and you just didn't do anything illegal. However, what you should have done is allowed the shareholders to vote on it, which is something they can do. And the shareholders could have been like, yes, we must, or no, we mustn't, and then we wouldn't be having this fucking problem.
This be the option?
The reason I'm dead serious. I'm dead set on the reason why they didn't allow the shareholders to fucking vote on it is because they knew the shareholders were like fucking $30 above market value. Fucking I'm in. Like I said, it's like a $42 billion fucking acquisition.
It's like, oh wow, triple my return, and I'm done with it, and I can invest in something else. Sure.
Well, he was on. It's not about money. Like he was on TED Talks, and it was the first TED Talk I seen where they were like two chairs, and they were like it was like a conversation, like a podcast. It was interesting, but the guy was talking to Elon Musk, and they asked him about it or whatnot. And they asked like him about how much money he might lose or gain or whatever, and he was like, "I don't care about the economics of it. Like, it's not about money. It's about like Starlink. He wants that free and open communication system on Earth, and he wants a free and open Earth so people are populated. So he has enough fucking." Rabble or whatever elite term you want to use. I don't think he looks at people that way, but it's like whatever elite term you want to apply to him, he needs people to try and get to Mars. And
The more people, the better.
So I hate when like we get dogs sometimes. When we talked about it last time, somebody was like, he's one of them great reset global elite garbage. It's just like their goal of depopulating the Earth, guy, is counter to his goal of Mars. I'm not saying he might not be a Bond villain, but it's like he's definitely.
He does sit high on the ranking of villains of Bond.
I'm just like it's like
I am here only to take over the.
his nefarious purpose is counter to their nefarious purpose.
Yeah.
So it's like.
The only thing that could be nefarious that might happen in the end is he might be that real Bond villain, except he's a lizard man.
I mean, if he wants to go be a Bond villain and then like rule Mars with an iron fist or a red fist because it's the red planet or however they like, he could go do that. If he makes Earth free and he gives me free internet and free communication and then he dips out to go be a fucking dictator somewhere on the other side of the universe, have at it, bro. Have at it. Thank you. Go do that. I really don't think that's what he wants. I think
I think he just wants to.
he wants to go to Mars. Everything else he doesn't care about.
This be it. I could live on Mars. Like that would be awesome.
But we regardless.
You can't argue with like the first day you wake up on Mars and you're just like. In your $1 billion home that's just like pre-assembled when you get there with working everything.
That's
awesome.
They turned down his deal and they elected a poison pill, which means if anybody acquires 15% of the company, 15% of the shares, the other shareholders can buy shares at a really cheap price, basically diluting that person with the 15% shares, basically tanking the value of the company. It's called the poison pill. And so instead of taking the extremely generous offer of 30% above market value for a failing company, you decided to potentially tank your company. But Musk can, like, I think he was talking, he's trying to get shareholders to like contact him and talk. So I think he has another plan. Like, no, it would be funny because like any one person gets 15% of the shares. The other people can fucking buy it at like fractions more shares, right? So What if the poison pill, they take the poison pill, and then Elon Musk sits down with the other shareholders like he tweeted, like he's the Dodge father, we'll call it, instead of, because he's the Dodge father, and he's, make you an offer you can't refuse. And then somebody else, one of the other shareholders, just buys 15% of the company, and then Elon Musk can come in and be like, mine! For pennies, mine.
I'll match you the same price we originally spoke of. You just give them to me.
Because if somebody else gets that much,
Yeah.
and like Vanguard, they bought up to 14% like, so like Musk's at 9. If he buys like 14.9, which is the minimum, so Musk buys 14.9, and they don't, they can trigger Vanguard to buy another share. And if Vanguard buys another share, BlackRock buys another share, one of these fucking shitty corporations from the Great Reset, you will own nothing, be happy people that are buying all the fucking crap, they will trigger the poison pill. And like I said, Elon Musk is then another shareholder, because it's you can't like target a shareholder being like only if he gets 15%. It's just anyone. So if he can trigger them to buy that extra point and trigger the poison pill, he can then come in and buy up enough shares to like at the discounted price.
So in turn, it would just work out in his benefit all the way. So like, no matter how it goes, it's all bad for Twitter, or is it?
He also said he would have to if they refused his offer, he would reconsider his investment, and if he sells his stock, if he just sells his stock, it would tank the price. I think he's going to win.
I hope he does.
I do too. Especially since Jack Dorsey, we talked earlier, was speaking out against it.